California, which is where I was studying economics at that particular time. Now, economics, the big jump for me was between economics and poetry, rather than between poetry and prose. I had always written a few short poems, but when I wrote this novel in verse, inspired by a Russian novelist, Pushkin, who also wrote a novel in verse, I suddenly realized that I wasn't only writing emotive poetry, but that I had to create characters and a story. And in a sense, that was my transition from a poet to being also a writer of fiction. Because in poetry, you don't have to create characters and you don't have to really tell a story. You can say what you're feeling, like, the allure of your face, as we saw on the screen. And that was something that I hadn't expected I'd be interested in doing. At that time, when I wrote A Suitable Boy, I hadn't even written a short story. As for the beginning, you too will marry a boy I choose, said Mrs. Rupa Mehra firmly to her younger daughter. It was something I heard outside a bus, where two women were talking to each other. They were saying goodbye to each other. And she said, "You are going to marry someone I choose." And that tiny seed led to this monstrously large book. And the fact that I sponged off my parents for 3 or 4 years when I was in my 30s while writing that book. I gave up economics dissertation. I gave up trying to be a doctor, PhD doctor. And I decided to lie on my bed and stare at the ceiling for a few years. So that was the transition.